94.3 Abuja, the station that plays every song you know. 24 minutes past 1 p.m. You're in the Classic Lounge, and my name is Faith. I have in the studios Malam Garba Shehu, the Senior Special Assistant to the President of Media and Publicity, and we're talking about various issues. Of course, you can definitely join in the conversation, which means that you can tweet at Classic FM 943, okay, to ask questions or make comments, or you can send a message via our WhatsApp line. That's to 09096 975 That's 0909 697 5943. Okay, to be a part of the conversation. Okay, sir, so let's talk about one of the biggest trending issues today. Okay, which is the arraignment of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Walter Onnoghen, at the CCT. Okay, so there was, it was said that there was a petition against him about non-declaration of assets, and, you know, it's supposed to go on now. Now, this is a story that has taken the entire country by storm, and there are people who are talking about it and trying to relate it with the politics of the day, with the elections that are oncoming. Okay, and so you have several SANs who are ready to, you know, take this on. And I would naturally not pay too much attention to this because, of course, there is no name attached to it. But a particular story brought it out that the president is not really aware of the actions of the anti-corruption agencies to try the Chief Justice of Nigeria. This is said to be from a senior government official. No name was given. But I want to find out, you know, the presidency's stance on the arraignment of the Chief Justice of the Federation. You have somebody like Olisa Bakoba San saying that the president cannot say that he is not aware of what is going on with the CCT and the Chief Justice. What say you, sir?
Well, I hope I will not disappoint your listeners when I say that I'm not equipped as much as I would like to, you know, to address questions on this matter. I think that I need to be briefed myself on all of the issues surrounding, you know, the trial, and I'm looking forward to being briefed. If this show had come later in the day, I would have been much happier.
Well, I mean, the issue of the Chief Justice has been on for a few days now. Exactly. People talking about it and talking about how he'll be arraigned today. So today was the day of arraignment, even though, you know, he wasn't present, so they had to adjourn. So it has been in the news for a minute. Does the president know about this? Is he aware of the issue with the Chief Justice?
As I said to you, the fact that it has been there in 2 days does not mean that I myself, I was out of town. I read it online on day one. I would have gotten my chance to sit down with the Attorney General of the Federation, who is the chief advisor to the government on law, and he himself was out of town in KB. I know that he came in late yesterday. I would certainly in the course of today have a chance to listen.
So for now, there's no official statement by the presidency on the arraignment of the Chief Justice. We do not know where the presidency stands.
One thing I would say to you is that the president we have is a respecter of the Constitution. President Buhari does not micromanage investigation and anti-corruption agencies. He doesn't say, go catch that person, or arrest and prosecute, or don't try, or don't investigate. He doesn't. So the investigation agencies in the country, they have a wide latitude of powers as provided under our laws, and I think this country is fortunate to have a president who doesn't say to them, leave this one, try that person.
Okay, I understand you saying that, but there are people who would argue with that particular, you know, submission and say that, well, I mean, Onnoghen is being arraigned so quickly after the petition was put out. And I would also point out that there are people who, of course, are drawing some sort of connection between the person who instituted the petition as having worked with the presidents before, and Justice Onnoghen, and so there is that submission that this might be more political because of the elections than anything else. So if you're saying that the president will not say catch that person or do this or do that, what about issues of somebody like Garba Shehu that the EFCC says, oh, we're going to arraign him, and he's not been arraigned till now, and you have this happening so fast? So those kind of things, those raise questions.
Yes.
That goes contrary to your submissions.
I have no doubt about the fact I have myself read the views that have been expressed along those lines. Do I have explanation for that? I suspect I need to understand from the chief advisor to the government on law, so that I can also do my part.
What about the hastiness of this? I mean,
all of that. I'm saying to you that I think I myself am curious. I want to know, and maybe when I'm briefed fully, I can then be the vessel for conveying information.
Well, for conveying it right now, you cannot tell me so much about it. So you cannot tell me if there's any connection between the aide being of the person being a former aide to the president and this issue. You can tell me anything about that.
I'm not ready to. I'm not being briefed, and I need to be briefed.
Yes, give me that. I will definitely follow up and get your briefing.
Oh, certainly.
I want to know.
I hope before the end of today.
Yeah, not
have
today.
A position.
Okay, and then I'll be able to get that.
Okay.
Because the legality of it and all of that has been contended, the position of the NJC where this is concerned is also being contended. So it will be great to have the president's point of view where this is concerned. Let's talk about the tenure of the current IGP that is said to have actually expired 3rd of this month. He's still the IGP that we have presently. I mean, I do not have an idea of any other person having been named so far. And so the question is up there in the air. Is the president going to extend his tenure? Is that the plan of the president? Since we do not have any formal statement about his position, even though what we do know is that his 35 years is up as we speak.
Well, you have mentioned the 3rd, and I'm sure that I'm also reading somewhere where they are saying the 15th. So,
well, 15th is just tomorrow.
But since the 3rd has come and gone,
yes,
which means that the 3rd is not his last day in office. I think that this question will arise if at the end of work tomorrow and then there's no pronouncement on what the IG will be doing. I think that it will be interesting to watch in the next 24 hours between today and tomorrow. So
you're telling me now that the presidency does not have a stand on the IGP presidency?
No. It cannot be said that the presidency doesn't have a stand on him.
So what is the stand?
Well, the president would disclose this when he thinks it is time to do so. As it is, the IG has still work time to finish, and unless that is over, nobody is in breach of any law by having him stay in that office. But I assure you, and you know that if you had watched the interview the president gave to Arise TV and this day newspaper, he said, yes, on the IG I will act. At some point he said, I've already decided, I've already acted. I think it's just a matter of disclosure. Today, tomorrow, my sense is that there will be information about
what he will do, about the status of the IGP, whether his tenure will be extended or not.
Whichever way the president decides, the president decides.
And we know that he does have the power to extend the tenure, so it's not like that is in contention.
Yes.
Even though some people would also argue, why extending the tenure? I mean, if he has...
I'm sure if it is to be extended, the president will have his reason for doing that. And if he has to end it, he will have his reason for doing that. So,
well, let me just look at this from the cable, saying that a senior presidency source was quoted as saying that the president is favorably disposed to extending his tenure, and so he's seeking legal counsel about this.
Again, I want to say that it's a speculative report since they have not named their sources.
Well, usually, I mean, you worked in media before, so you know that it's not easy to state sources like this.
Yeah, but all the same, it's not all the time that they get it right also. so we leave it that this is just a speculative report. My sense is that today, tomorrow, there will be a pronouncement from the president.
From the president.
On the status of the IG.
Okay, so we
hopefully there should be, yes.
We definitely await that, and we need to know. But just hypothetically, if his tenure was extended, you do know that there will be uproar about this?
Well, if you are the Inspector General of Police with the enormous powers that he has, it cannot be that 200 million Nigerians will all love you.
Are you talking about loving him, or the fact that this might be seen as political because of the elections?
Well, I'm saying to you that the one who wants to remove President Buhari from the office, he probably would rather have his houseboy as the Inspector General of Police.
Will the president rather have his houseboy as
so
well?
therefore, when they say this in the mount pressure, they have their own motives also. They probably are scared that this man would not allow them to play the kind of games that they are used to playing, and so they have to fight him. I mean, the possibilities are many.
What about, you said possibilities are many. There are some who would also argue that he probably will dance the tune of a party in power because the president
he may wish to, but unfortunately, I think that if he is that kind of person, he doesn't have a supporter in President Muhammadu Buhari, because I'm aware, I sat at meetings where President Muhammadu Buhari has said, don't rig this election for me. So don't try to, just do the right things. And so therefore, there will be no place for that kind of games, I assure you. I think that.
So you're saying the fears are unfounded, that it's political to try to extend his tenure if that does happen? I
believe if the president decides to extend his tenure, it must be justified in the best national interest.
He'll probably be the first IG that is having his tenure extended so close to elections, some people would argue.
Well, you can say that, but you know that in the past in the country we also had a new Inspector General appointed a week before election. Arase was so appointed, and the President Muhammadu Buhari inherited him and worked with him. And in the belief that the president before him, who did the change so close to election, was also doing that perhaps in the best national interest. In any case, whether it was in the interest of the nation or not, President Muhammadu Buhari accepted it and worked with Arase and found him to be a fantastic Inspector General of Police.
Okay. All right then. So let's move on from that, and let's talk about the daily trusts issue and the military. You know, the president had to, you know, issue an order for the military to vacate the offices of daily trusts, and before they did that. Okay. What are your thoughts on, you know, having the military do that to a journalistic house? There are people who have connoted that to mean that it does seem like there's some infringement on freedom of the press because of this particular issue. And that is not just still talking about daily trust. We're also looking at the fact that the military had issues with UNICEF. The military had issues with Amnesty International, you know, so would you say that when people look at this and argue that there is some sort of suppression of maybe human rights or freedom of the press, would you say that they're wrong? I mean, it took the president saying leave that place before they did this.
Well, you know that, let me say to you that I am myself coming from the media profession, and so therefore I am beholden to all of the values, the ethics of the profession and all of that. So I am for press freedom, and because in the belief that you need the freedom of the press to protect other rights, because without press being free, even other rights, including the right to life, cannot be guaranteed. So somebody has to be there to speak, you know, for so there is absolutely but when you consider also that really in the 3.5 years of this administration, the president has maintained a clean sheet dealing with the media. There has never been an occasion where the president himself has said, go and seize copies of newspapers or go and shut down this medium. As I speak to you, we don't have any single journalist in any of the detention centers in the country on the basis of the professional calling, on the basis of being a journalist. So that's a clear record. Now, talking specifically about what happened between trust and the military, and I want to say, I and my colleague Femi, we were involved from the early part. And the military leadership really had agreed with us, and we commended them for accepting that there should be civility in dealing with this matter, that there should be dialogue and communication so that there will be understanding between the two parties. Yes, so while that dialogue was going on, then we got reports that, the military, some elements had gone to the office of the newspaper in Maiduguri and thereafter in Abuja. Now, you must accept also that this country is in a state of war. And this state of war means that we're in an emergency. I have had the privilege myself as a journalist of covering a war. The first Gulf War, I was there. And I was on the side of the American, invaders of Iraq, who defeated Iraq and reinstated the independence of Kuwait. But I want to say that in no part of the world wars being fought, and then the media are allowed to just descend on the place and say whatever they want. I will give you two examples that the military cited in that Daily Trust report. One, when they said that the military was amassing weapons and bringing troops together to invade, go and recover Baga, who will benefit from that information? If anybody, I don't want to say you, if anyone is a Boko Haram commander, they'll begin to...
You're saying that they're giving them information?
So they would go out. And two, and the report did announce that the Islam in West Africa, ISWA, was recruiting massively. So what I'm saying is that if you are desperate for a job and any job for you, go and join. So that kind of thing. So I think that two wrongs, as they say, don't make a right. The paper exceeded their space. And I think, from my understanding from the conversation I've had with them, they have also come to terms with the fact that some part of the report had exceeded reasonable grounds. But was the military right to have invaded? I think this is why the government came in and said, look, get out of that place, go and talk to them and resolve these matters.
But then, yes, so like I said, the government had to do that. The federal government had to say, you know what, get out of there, resolve it in a different manner. But you've had the military had warnings with people like this. I just mentioned Amnesty International as well as UNICEF. In fact, UNICEF, they told UNICEF to get out. And even though finally a few days later they say, oh, we've resolved the impasse, but why this kind of warnings, that make people start to question whether rights are being trampled or suppressed or just taken out?
Let me say to you,
question the high-handed, what they allege as a high-handedness of the military.
Let me say that all of us as Nigerians, I think that we should come to terms with one thing. As I said, the country is an emergency. But beyond that, these soldiers who are there in the northeast, who are fighting, who are being killed, they are dying so that you and I will be safe, will be free. So they deserve the sympathy and support of fellow citizens.
Absolutely.
What was UNICEF doing? UNICEF had arranged, among other things, had organized and brought young people that they had hired from various communities in Borno State, from each local government. From the report we got, they had assembled them at Musa Osman Secretariat, so before public view. And they were being trained on what? Trained on how to spy on the military. That's what the military said. How to see what the military... Yeah, that's what they said. That's what they said. That's what the military said.
Where's the evidence to support this? That
so that's what I'm saying, that the military said that people were being trained so that they will go and observe them in their work and report to UNICEF, so that UNICEF will also do the kind of... So that kind of
UNICEF is for the UN. They are there to render aid to
now,
people.
As we speak, I think all of that is over, because apparently they sat down and they have resolved their own differences.
Yeah, but the question here is, it's not whether it has been resolved right now. It is what it now connotes that, okay, why wasn't this sort of sit down, let's talk about it, let's find out if it is true, why did it not happen.